So to get started, my name is Jessica Dickow. I'm an assistant director in the Center for Global Education. I am the virtual mentor for this program. So I do the interviewing and then we do a Canvas course when you're there, and we do the orientations together. I manage this program as well as in the fall, I do Japan and Greece. You were here a little early. Japan was just leaving. I just did Japan. And also Australia in the spring, along with Cork. I'm also working with the Nuclear Japan. I work with our inbound programs as well, so students coming here to study abroad. I do a lot of work with scholarships, so if you have questions on those fronts, like how to fund this, certainly I am a good person to make an appointment with. I do some of our returning things, and then postgraduate opportunities as well, if you're thinking about Fulbright, JET, living or working abroad. I do a lot of advising on that. I did spend 10 years in South Korea teaching English. Got a couple study abroads in. Those are my favorite signs. Ted Lasso. Good show. Be curious not to, but the one in the middle is my favorite sign though ever from a study abroad. Like a site that I went to, it's from South Africa, and it was a Tuesday, but it was open because it was on Tuesdays unless open, and it was open. So, it's a little bit about me. So Cork, Ireland, spring semester. Look, there's the fabulous Carl. Making his first cameo. Cork is it the third largest? Do you know?
Second.
Second, okay. Second largest city in Dublin. UCC College, so the University College Cork is a large university, like 25,000 students. It's like a medical school graduate program. So it is, and it's kind of spread out throughout Cork, but Cork is an eminently walkable city, would you not say?
Yeah.
Hills, that's the only thing. First time I got there, I was like, oh, wow. There are hills, more than I expected, bigger than I expected. I will go through it a little bit more. On this program, there are, no, that is the wrong slide. Okay, that's wrong. This is 386. It's a 1 credit course. How did I miss that? It's a 1 credit course. It's done on campus. That's the one taught with me. It's just a processing as part of the orientation that continues while you're there. The other required piece is the language and culture in an Irish speaking area. So it's a 4-day experience. It's taught by UCC, and then you do a reflection on that, and that's how your experience, your EX is counted as well. So it's predominantly study abroad, all study abroad students, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's international. A lot of Americans.
And how was that?
It's cool, yeah. It was on a little school and it was totally Irish, everything. Yeah.
And you mastered Irish.
Not even close.
It's a super easy language.
Yeah, it's probably the hardest I've ever encountered.
Yeah, so you just go, you have the experience, you learn a little bit more about Irish culture, like folklore, you do some dancing, some music.
Dancing and sports. And, yeah, folklore.
But it was worth it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the excursions included. It's a course, but it's also a 4-day excursion. Beyond that, then you will take a number of different classes, usually 5. So you're going to be up to 16. 17 is the maximum possible on this program. I will pull up the page where we can look at some of the classes. They have a slightly, like most things abroad, there is a conversion that has to happen. So most of their classes occur in 5 credit segments. They translate back here at 3 credits, but some of their classes are 10 credits. Come back as 6 credits, and some of them are 2 credits. Come back as 1. So there's a little bit of a process bringing the classes back, but this program has the widest range of classes available on any of the study abroad programs. So. You took some very interesting classes.
Yeah.
What did you take?
I took neurobiology of disease, and then there was molecular biotechnology and genetic engineering. And then music perception and cognition, which is like a psychology class. And then, like an Irish folk or Irish history and like a religious sense and, Irish dance. Dance. Yeah.
So there's a wide variety of classes. You took some super easy classes while you were there. There's ones on archaeology, English, there are environmental studies ones, there's a wide range, so there's some business classes, but you can also complete a lot of integrations curriculum while you're there. So I just pulled up, like, when you go into the global portal, you'll see when you go in to make your application, right, set up your profile and start your application. If you're gonna apply to Cork or any program, you'll see the program overview, you'll see about the program, but also academics. And that usually has links to different resources. So going in there, you can find the link to the course offerings at Cork. You can also find our study abroad database. So I just used the TI, right, your upper Theo as an example, but there's quite a few options there. So you can, if you find them here, then you have to go to UCC and kind of take a look and see what's being offered that semester. So it's a sort of a dual like a multi-step process, but they have a lot more classes. And they range quite a bit, right? This one, the minimum is 15, the maximum is 75. Some of them, like the minimum is 6 and the max is like 150. So it's a little bit different in the sense than here being like an 18 or 24 max or something like that. Do we have any questions coming up at this point? So, like a lot of places in Europe, there's a bit of a mix of old and new, right? There's a very modern student building, but also lots of traditional row housing and colorful things. There's also the center quad, looks a little bit like something out of Harry Potter. And then there's the gym, which is brand new and like state of the art and is available to all students who go to the program. Did you use the gym, Carl, or?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It'd be like just a gym for a larger university. There's a good amount of people using it. Yeah. There are a lot of options to pools and everything.
There's a lot of clubs that you can get involved with. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clubs. I was choking myself. Lots of clubs and sports and different kinds of groups that you can get involved with. So if you're into ultimate frisbee, you can do that. Soccer. If you want to like do hiking, or I've had students who've been interested in that. There's surf clubs and other kinds of things. So you are near the ocean. It's a chilly ocean, so think carefully. Buy a big wetsuit. But lots of things. Did you all hang out much in the library, the student center, or anything?
Yeah, I've never seen a more busy library actually, but like I was surprised how many people were there. Yeah, I guess they like to study. The student union's really nice. It's all brand new and sells a lot of stuff. And Russian, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a commuter school by and large, right? Students mostly go home on the weekends or travel home. So rather than having a residential space like we do here, so maybe it's not such a surprise that they would be doing more studying on campus if they have to travel home, right? Or have limited space in the rooms that they have rented. So these are the student apartments. You want to talk about those, Carl?
Yeah, so there's a kitchen and like living room area connected. You can kind of tell on those pictures on the right, those are all like the same room. And then there's 2 floors. Each floor has 4 rooms, and like the girls would be on the bottom and the guys would be on the top. I had 4 Benny roommates, a Johnny, and then a guy from Slovenia and an Irish guy. They're super cool. Other people had different combinations of Johnny's, Benny's and international students. So it's kind of random that way. And yeah, I thought it was really fun, just to be with random people and figure it out and split a fridge, and freezer and
Tiny.
yeah, that's can be challenging, but that's just the way it is over there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so UCC doesn't have like they do have dormitories, but they are generally reserved for people who are there for a year, right? And not for a semester. So we are off campus at like student accommodation. So everyone living at Brookfield are students, correct? Are there families there in some
not-
section?
yeah, like there's like a building where the laundry is, and pool,
Yeah,
but I think there might be families in there.
I just wonder if there's some of the graduate students might have
Yeah,
families or things like that.
there's definitely
Space.
graduate students, but I don't know about families.
So you live, it's kind of like Centen. Or like the new Seton in the sense that it's like townhouses right next to each other. So even if you end up in an apartment with not your closest friend or not somebody. Like, I have occasionally had students where they're the only CSB or SJU student in an apartment, but you're right next door to the other group as well, and it generally is one of the more popular things about the program, that you have these international roommates and get to make friends and connections that way. You know, have other people to go visit in other places. Having an Irish student was kind of unusual,
Yeah,
because they frequently are not in those spaces.
these are cool.
And how far away from campus?
To the library would take 10 minutes, and that's where most of the classes are. Classes are all scattered, on the campus and off the campus as well sometimes. Like for music classes. But it was an easy walk, it's like 20 minutes to the grocery store. Which I thought was fine, and there's a bunch of stores around.
Which one did you usually go to?
I went to Little, which is like basically the same thing as Aldi. I think Aldi might even own it, but yeah, it was super. It was cheaper than here in America. I like that, so shopping was fun. And yeah, it was like the same as normal.
And you had to do, but more frequent shopping, maybe.
Yeah, I just got a backpack full of groceries and yeah.
There is, of course, a team on site, so this is where you check in. If you have issues with, like, you know, a broken sink or things, you can report those. There is a security guard at the front, so at night, did you ever have to show your IDs? Or once they got to know you?
Yeah, at the start you had to show that he's. After they figured out that you're American and always there, you just go in.
And there is, they call it a leisure center, but there's like a pool and a gym. You have to, some days are open to the community, like one day for a certain block, right? And then otherwise you have to pay for a membership.
Yeah, I mean, the school gym's way better.
Yeah.
So. But laundry's there too, so.
Yeah, and you do have to pay for laundry. So the excursions included on this program are an overnight trip called the Ring of Kerry. So you hit the southern ring of Ireland. How was that?
Oh, that was really cool. Yeah, the bus driver drove us around for 2 days and hit all the spots, had great groups and yeah, it was. We saw a lot of different things, national parks, just spots of interest in little towns. And we stayed in Killarney, which I thought was my favorite town in Ireland. So that was really fun to stay there. And then, yeah, Dingle and yeah, got around a lot, so.
Yeah, and it's just all of you on the bus. So you also get did you were there any conversations about how long you want to stay? Like, I think they have some flexibility if like the weather is not good or something on the beach.
Yeah, there's definitely flexibility, like, we stopped at like the top of a hill and then somebody started climbing the hill and then everybody's climbing the hill, so.
Then there was a new staff on the program.
Yeah,
which are
exactly.
climbing up. And then of course, the other excursion that's in your program fee is that course of the 4-day excursion. And then there's lots of sports clubs and societies, and sometimes these international club or other groups will set up excursions that are like set at student prices. So if you keep your eye out, you can sometimes participate in other programs. I know students have done surfing and other things through the school at like discounted rates. Getting cold teas. That would be cool, it'll be really good ways, it'll be one word. Any questions so far? These are just some shots from around Cork. What was your favorite space to go hang out in Cork?
I think just around campus was good.
Yeah. Did you get down to the coast much, the harbor?
In Cork or,
Yes.
yeah. There's a market down there, a couple markets, marina market, and places to go out to eat stuff, and then coffee shops all over the place, and yeah, you can walk around pretty easily and make a day out of it.
That church is in Dublin, right?
That's Finbar, Cathedral. St. Finbar's. Yeah. That's like 15 minutes down the road.
So I pulled up some of the shopping spaces. So you already mentioned Little's as one of the discount, the Aldi's, if you like Aldi's here, don't look for an Aldi's, look for a Little's. Tesco is another really easy grocery shop, though probably was pretty close. There's a big Tesco and there's a small Tesco. The Tesco expresses tend to be a little bit more expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not much. Then if you get there, you are supplied with bed linens, but if you like to decide you need an extra blanket or you detest a pillow or something. You know, pillows are one of those things that really has a preference.
Mhm.
And they make it spend a lot of time in bed. I mean, you don't spend a lot of time in one day, but over the semester, you spend a lot of time in bed. It's kind of important. The TK Maxx and like the Pennies are good places to go pick up things like that.
Yeah, Pennies is like, I guess it's like JC Pennies, and TK Maxx is like TJ Maxx, so. Yeah, you can buy, those shops are really convenient, you can get whatever you want there.
Is there anything for the living space that they should absolutely bring with them? Or can everything be got?
I brought like a little blanket, and a calendar, and that was about it in my room. And then the living room, we found a rug. There's like a little bin by the admissions office or international students office on campus. And it has a bunch of stuff that people are like hand-me-downs basically. So you can go there and get free stuff, which has all of those towels and pillows and stuff if you want to use that. Otherwise, Pennies and yeah, actually.
Upcycling.
Yep.
Repurposing, we like it. Very green. Transportation, there's a lot of good transportation, depending on where you're going, right? Buses, trains, which ones did you prefer, trains, buses?
I used buses really, almost exclusively.
It's a little cheaper.
Yeah, that's.
Did you get a leap card?
Yeah, I had a leap card for going around the cities or the city. And it's not that city bus isn't as convenient as like the bigger ones that will take you across the country. But it worked when you needed it, like if it was raining and you had groceries. or something like that. So,
Question.
Was there any travel like outside the country?
yeah, there's, some people did a lot of travel, yeah, like, my roommate went to like 15 different countries.
You
I
just have to go to like Dublin and Cork.
Cork International is pretty good, and you could go to Dublin if you want, but then you have to bus up there.
Right.
I think I was exclusively Cork.
So you can't fly into Cork from the US, like there
Yeah.
are no international flights that arrive in Cork from the US, but it does a lot of Europe.
Yeah.
Fly to London, fly to Amsterdam.
Yeah, I got a ticket to London for €24 one way. There's that.
Yeah.
So that, and yeah, that is just kind of more spontaneous thing. But then there's spring break where we took advantage of that, made it fun.
Yeah, so lots of students do independent travel. All of that would be independent. There's only the 2 excursions that are built into the program. The rest of it would be choices that you would make. Did anyone go to Northern Ireland this year?
Yeah. a couple people did. I know.
Yeah, you're into history, right? Titanic.
Mhm.
Thinking of the Lusitania. More spaces around Cork, Blarney Castle is not far away, you can go kiss the Blarney Stone. Some pretty nice photos. The Ring of Kerry tour is kind of covered in here, right, with the this area. Yeah. Any questions? So where did you say, Killarney was your favorite?
Yeah.
What?
So. The bottom right is Cove, and which is 30 minutes by train, and then the Barney Stone, you have to Uber there probably. And that's like 20 minutes. So visitors like to do that. Yeah.
If you're into Star Wars, the
Um,
new series, right? Michael, I think it's called. Any questions before I just talk about expectations and programs? Okay. In terms of when you're applying, things that we're kind of looking for is a 2.5 GPA actually for Cork. I should have changed this on here. It has to be 3. That is the requirement of UCC. If you're a little bit below that, talk to me. There are things we can talk about. There's a little bit of wiggle room there, but not much. So that is the requirement. That's UCC's requirement. And then there's the application and resume. Lovely people like Carl, if you come into the center, will help you design a fabulous resume and answer questions about applications. The essay questions are personal, academic, and professional. There's 3 different ones. Their maximum is 300 words.
yeah.
Target range,
Yeah.
300-ish. There's not a max, I don't think. I think we will
Yeah.
cut you off. But you don't need to, we're not looking for bulk. We're looking to see that you have considered the program and given thought, why this program, why not another program, or why not stay on campus? So the argument that you're making is, why is it this specific program you would be interested in? So taking a look and doing a little bit of research into the program or Ireland specifically will make those essays stronger. References, you need 2 references, a faculty and a non-faculty. So the non-faculty person could be a coach, it could be a teacher, like if you were applying as a first year, it might be somebody from your high school, could be an employer, it could be an advisor if you're at a club or something else. Just somebody that you haven't had as like a student faculty relationship. Okay, and then 1 faculty. It's a form, so you don't have to ask them to write a letter. You just enter their email and they get automatically sent a form, so it's not too demanding on them. So it's a little easier ask. Seniority, it's a holistic approach to reviewing essays, so not one of these will end any of it. It's all looked at together. Seniority only means if you have 3 more years left on campus, somebody who only has maybe 1 might have a slight edge in terms of taking of spaces. The only people who cannot go on a study abroad program are people who are currently on, or not currently, but at the time of the program, on academic probation or disciplinary probation. Those would be the limitations, and then you have an interview. And it's with me, I'm super scared, I'm tired. It's more developmental, so it's to learn more about like the expectations and make sure that we understand the program, we're on the same page and it's understand you a little bit. It was really scary, wasn't it? It is important to bring your best game, but it's not, you're all human. So when you're thinking about like what you should be doing to prepare is like thinking about how you're going to finance it, start making a budget, kind of thing, looking through the actual costs. What would you say the range is that students spend?
Like 3,000 to 10,000.
So it can be depending on what choices you're making, how much you're traveling, how much you're going out, having those other kinds of experiences. You can attend an application support session. You could meet up with a study abroad mentor. If you play right, you can have somebody who knows exactly what Cork was like. You can always make an appointment with me in the Hive. The application is due February 4th. And then you find out by February 18th. You have a longer break this year than we've had in the past with 1 more week, so you would get bored. It's the perfect thing to do over winter break. What was a typical day like?
Yeah, I had breakfast most of the time, and then. Classes would be scattered throughout the day and, so. Those are in different locations too, so if it was like across the river on, for music classes, then like. I'd try to spend my whole day over there, so I don't have to walk back and forth. Or if it was close, by, like on campus by the library, kind of thing, that was easy to get there and back and then, have lunch. Most of the time I ate lunch or like made myself lunch. Sometimes I would, stop places. And then, yeah, classes, was mostly what I was up to during like a work week kind of thing. On the weekend, we would try to, just find stuff to do. Sometimes we would take trips like up and down the coast. Or sometimes we'd hang out, like there would be different sports games. So Gaelic football and, hurling. Sometimes rugby. Yeah. Am I missing big things?
How many days a week did you have class?
It was 4 days throughout the semester, but halfway through the semester, it switched from Monday to Thursday to Tuesday to Friday. So the schedule changes a lot. Each class isn't always going to be set in stone, like of what day and what time or what place. So that's something you have to manage and it just changes.
I think the science classes have that more than
Yeah,
many of the other ones.
that's true, yeah, some other people were having less class, just class days or amount of classes, so.
What was the best class you took?
Well,
Or one that ranks up, what stands out as the one that you're like, oh,
Irish dancing was really cool because, I can get that elsewhere.
yeah. It is always a favorite one, the students who get to be in it.
And then my neurobiology class was really cool. It was just taught in a different way by smart people, so that was a good experience.
That was a good class.
Yeah.
It's nice to be taught by smart people.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're too
Yeah.
smart,
Yeah.
problem, they can't communicate, but yeah. Any other questions or anything else I can help with? Do you want to see some of the classes or anything? You care at this point? You don't have to. It's really early, it is like November. The application doesn't even close till February 4th, but I can certainly hang out and show those. Show classes if you're curious at all, like trying to fit them into your schedule, otherwise. Dinner time.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming. Any other, if you have any questions, come up and ask.
Yes,